in all asymmetrical political action. The action is in the reaction of the opposition, right? So it's all about creating a conflict, heightening tensions, this kind of thing. So what he's trying to do, I mean, assuming the guy thought it through at all, what he's trying to do is get Trump to clamp down harder on pro-Palestine protesters and then get them to react harder against him, and just like trolling back and forth, right? Each other, heightening the tension and making things worse in order to try to cause the change. So that's the strategy behind, I mean, presumably if he had a strategy at all other than just angrily lashing out to murder these people. One thing is, only in the most ironic sense, you understand what I mean, that just everybody else got lucky other than this poor couple, that this guy could have set off a truck bomb and killed a bunch of innocent people. And I've been predicting this for a long time. This time it was a commie. On New Year's, it was an Army veteran convert to Islam who attacked Bourbon Street.
Yep.
Right. And now this all got obscured because there was that other veteran set off the truck bomb in Las Vegas with that weird letter to Sean Ryan and all this stuff that obscured the whole thing, what happened on Bourbon Street. And now they never released the guy's video rants. They say that he recorded himself on his drive to New Orleans from Houston. Right. They haven't released that or transcripts of that as far as I know yet. But I'm willing to go out on a limb and bet you $10 that what he was ranting about was the war in Gaza. And then what happened was, it's not even a war, the canned hunt, the slaughter of these poor people over there. And then what he did was slaughter a bunch of innocent people partying on Bourbon Street on New Year's Eve. So in other words, like, other than children, you couldn't get more innocent of civilians than just people out drinking, having a good time, doing nothing. And they got to pay the price for Israel's sins here. And the point being that, not obviously, as everyone should understand, not to justify what they're doing, but to explain that's their justification. That's their rationalization. And so supporting Israel the way that we do, it is not in America's national interest. And I wish Tim was here because I'd like to remind him, as I told him before, and this is, I think, obscured by a lot of smoke and a lot of other things. But Israel and America's support for Israel is the primary reason that America's own al-Qaeda terrorist mercenaries turned on the United States of America and hit us, not just on September 11th, but all through the 1990s. Their first attack here, it was, proto-al-Qaeda, Egyptian Islamic Jihad. Their first attack here was Rabbi Kahane in New York City, and he was a radical right-wing rabbi from the Koch Party, which the Israeli Supreme Court had banned for being fascist, and they assassinated him in New York City. And it was the same crew that tried.
When was that?
In 1990.
Okay.
And he had a really good Jewish lawyer that got everything narrowed down to just this very narrow question, and the whole investigation into the rest of his co-conspirators got all trashed. And the same group went on to bomb the World Trade Center in 1993.
With Ramzi Youssef?
With Ramzi Youssef. And see, the story there, if people don't know this, it's an interesting one. The FBI could have stopped it. It's a side point, but it's worth making. The FBI had an informant inside the group, and the two agents working the case were doing a good job, but their boss prevented them from following through. And he cut the guy's pay, and he demanded that he wear a wire, which was impossible. He would have got caught. So the informant, who was going to make a fake bomb, left the plot, and then they brought in Ramzi Youssef, and Youssef is the one who cooked the real bomb. And they almost succeeded in toppling one tower over into the other, which would have hit a few more too. Could have killed.
Most people don't think about it because the consequences weren't catastrophic.
Yeah, it was 6 people were killed, so people just blew it off. And then, of course, the ATF raided the Branch Davidians church 2 days later. And so that is what took all the attention away from the first one.
Was it that? I didn't realize they were that close in time.
Yeah, it was the February the 26th and the 28th there. A Sunday morning, they raided them because they thought, well, they'll all be at church, so we'll catch them by surprise. That's what you do, when you're the ATF. Anyway, and then all through the 1990s, these are the same group who they tried to kill Americans at the hotel, a Radisson Hotel in Yemen in 1992. Americans training the Saudi National Guard in 1995. The barracks, the Khobar Towers barracks, killed 19 American airmen in 1996. Then the Africa embassies in 98, the Cole in 2000, and then eventually September 11th. And this whole time, this group of guys working for bin Laden and Zawahiri, they were motivated primarily, their whole propaganda, and never mind exactly what bin Laden believed, because he's a murderer, so who cares what he says. right? As far as you don't take his word for anything. But the point is, this is how he recruited people, is he would point at America's occupation of Saudi Arabia in order to dual contain Iraq and Iran at Israel's behest.
See, I thought...
And American support for Israel in their persecution of the Palestinians and the Lebanese. Those are the top two things on the list of their reasons. And these guys worked for Bill Clinton. The whole time they're bombing us, Bill Clinton's still backing them in Bosnia, in Kosovo, and Chechnya, and he thinks he's cute. 10 of the 19 hijackers had fought on America's side in Bosnia or Chechnya.
Really?
Before they turned around and hit us.
Okay.
And I'm not going truther on you. I'm saying the Americans were playing this cute game where we get to use these terrorists to kill Serbs and Russians. And don't worry, we know what we're doing. But meanwhile, the things that they were doing in the Middle East that were motivating them to turn against us were still going on.
Yeah.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.